and welcome to another episode of the Never Words podcast. I'm your host, Tom Brown, joined tonight in a special episode by my brother, Jack. We saw each other like 4 hours ago, and this was not planned.
Nope.
And then was watching Dodgers Cubs, and it was showing a graphic of teams struggling, and they showed the Red Sox, and underneath it, it said, fired Alex Cora today, which I had not heard.
Yeah.
And then I dove to my phone, and sure enough, the Red Sox fired Alex Cora. They are 10 and 17, I believe last place in the AL East. They did win today, 17 to 1. So I'm not sure if they thought this would like soften the blow, but it wasn't just Cora. They absolutely cleaned house and they fired the hitting coach. Oh, hold on. I just had this. I'm sorry.
I got you,
I just
Tom.
had.
Peter Fatsi, third base coach Kyle Hudson, bench coach Ramon Vasquez, assistant hitting coach Dylan Lawson, major league hitting strategy coach Joe Cronin, game planning and run prevention coach Jason Varitek has been resigned to a new role within the organization.
Which is they know that that's too big a he's too big a name to fire. So, Jack, first and foremost, as the number one, I don't understand why Alex Cora is still the manager of this team guy going. Where are you right now?
Well, it doesn't fill an immediate need because Chad Tracy is not the answer. Um, maybe. What do I know? I do think that there is some lineup mismanagement. Um, I think that that's not entirely his fault. He has too many lefties, or he has too many outfielders who bat lefty. Um, it's not necessarily Cora's fault that most of his starting pitchers' efforts haven't gone past the fourth inning this season. Um, but in the, I don't hate it, other than the fact of this plus the Devers fiasco last year is just smacks of front office dysfunction. And that's what really makes me nervous because they fired everybody with no plan to replace them. There's still 5 months left in this season. So it's a little it's a little weird. It's jarring. Um, there's this is bigger than Devers because I mean he was in charge of everything on the field. The players still loved him. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here.
Yeah, it, it's interesting, but at the same time, here's something that I just thought was odd. And say they, you know, did their 3 years, they went through the whole year, they weren't good, and they did their classic, well, let's change the director of baseball operations. This is Cora's third director of baseball operations. Usually, when you hire a new GM or, president of baseball operations, whatever this title is, that guy brings in his manager. It's actually crazy that the the owners have said, "We're hiring you. You cannot hire a new manager." For to two people, they said it to Chaim Bloom, and then they said it to Craig Breslow. So
Well, there was also the rumors this year that they were like really kind of grooming Cora to take over that job, to take over the roster building, which makes this even like more surprising.
I think this was Craig Breslow saying, If you want me to do what I planned on doing, like we're not getting there. Maybe Chad Tracy comes in and plays guys at their position, sticks with the lineup, and gives guys nights off instead of an ever rotating lineup. And I mean, they are awful. We've been wanting to record for a couple days because,
Yeah.
well, obviously we pick the night after they score 17 runs, but that Yankees series was pathetic. And then to come out against the Orioles Friday night and lay an absolute egg again, it's not nothing is ever 100, nothing's all on the manager, especially when your team's not hitting. I think it's weird timing. You could have done it after the Yankee game and just start fresh in Baltimore. You could have done it, I don't know, get through Memorial Day. What this seems like to me is Craig Breslow was ready to do this whenever ownership said, yeah, go ahead.
It's not even that I'm surprised by it, but
The timing, the lack of a backup plan, like we've heard about Chad Tracy who's going to take over, but like who's going to coach third base tomorrow afternoon?
Well, that's what's strange. Is he just bringing the whole Triple H coaching staff up? I guess we'll find out. Like, I can't wait to read this in the morning and see what happened. I I also like I am tuning in like it's Super Bowl Sunday to see your boy get in front of the media, Sam Kennedy, and answer these questions. Sam Kennedy and Craig Breslow next to each other, just two guys I can't stand listening to. But this is a move that's you, it's such a organization shakeup that they have to like give a reason. They can't dance around. They're gonna dance around it, but they have to give a reason.
they're not gonna, Tom. Man, it's gonna be some baloney line about how, this isn't good enough and the Boston fans deserve more or something along those lines. Unless there's some huge um like underlying story here, but it's just so dysfunctional. It doesn't look like a front office or a team who spent a second summer losing out on top tier free agents has its finger on the pulse of what works and what doesn't. And Boston Red Sox stats on Blue Sky right now is really, really threading it out on rumors and stuff that he's heard from people in that organization not buying into the program of how they develop. So this is going to be interesting. And unfortunately, they took a roster that people were excited over and now have just thrown in a huge wrench to anything. And these are young guys. This is a young roster, and now they don't have a coach, or excuse me, a manager or any coaches in the dugout. I just don't understand the thinking behind it. I said it last year where moving Devers contradicted what they said about wanting to win now. They got Trevor Story got hot for a while and carried them. Then Roman Anthony came up and carried them through the late summer. Um, and they kind of lucked out. But this truthfully does not make you any better today than you were yesterday. I do get the frustration over the lineup stuff. Like you mentioned, we talk about that all the time. So I'd like to see a consistent lineup. I hope this makes Masataka Yoshida the designated hitter, which he should be. And then they need to make a move in the roster because firing the manager isn't going to make them win any more games this year.
Yeah, it's interesting because they do this. If they just end up really bad, I'm talking like 70 wins, like really bad, which is they haven't shown that they're not going to do that. Does Breslow go also, and then you just start everything fresh? Because if it's true what they're saying about like the inner circle is like three guys, no one's allowed to have opinions. If if people are miserable, but then there's someone like tattles on them, which is all stuff that you were mentioning, the stats account is he's putting out there. It's, are you going to say like, let's see this through, or is it going to be the fourth president of baseball operations? And so Dombrowski left in 2019. That would be 7 years.
Jesus.
And Now there's just like nightly sell the team chance. So it's like this might this might get so bad. Well, they won't because it's the Red Sox. You don't sell the Red Sox.
Yeah,
But
people are still going to sell out the building. I mean,
yeah.
sell the team chants aren't as powerful as not showing up to Fenway Park. And I know that's tough because you like the Red Sox. Everybody wants to see Roman Anthony hit. But yeah, the future is pretty bleak right now. Again, I don't know if Chad Tracy's going to come in and the first thing he's going to do is set 9 positions in stone, because they have too many guys to play those positions. But again, you're the front office there. You whiffed the last 2 off seasons on big free agents, um, and you fire the manager who you're not really given the pieces to put in play. Although the way he did it, and then he would kind of hide by the fact of, or what he said, hide behind the fact of saying it's hard. Like, yes, but that's why it's your job. So I don't know.
Right.
The whole thing is weird. We obviously didn't plan for this, and it's emergency pod territory for sure.
Uh yeah. And it's also odd because he's in the second year of a 3-year contract extension, which you just didn't have
The
to give him.
extension, yeah.
He got a lot of you gave him a lot of money, which is like, okay, who is saying that? Is the ownership saying this is our guy, stick with him, give him the extension? Or is Craig Breslow like, hey, we're overperforming this year, his contract's up. We actually don't want to lose him because he's a good manager of the players, and those are hard to find. Teams cycle through managers all the time. We want to keep this guy. Now you've given him that extension, you have to pay him, and he can go coach another team. Like someone, I think in that Dodgers Cubs game, Ken Rosenthal was breaking this report, and he said Dave Dombrowski and Alex Cora are very close, and the Phillies are underperforming. Like, not saying that the Phillies will fire Rob Thompson, Thompson or Thomas. Rob Thomas saying for Matchbox 20.
Yeah, he's
Um,
I
but
think it's Thompson.
you know,
But
saying they're not going to fire him and then hire Cora, but this, I don't know. It's this is very. These pods are hard to do because it was like Devers last year where we were just that was angry vitriol where we were just fuming. But this one's a little different because like we were both questioning him. We didn't understand how he was sticking around through all these bad last place finishes and the manager's usually the first one to go and he was like the last one to go.
yeah, exactly. And I've been saying for the past 3 seasons, why are they coached? Why are they the worst defensive team in the world? With a guy who made his major league career playing off or playing defense in your infield.
Hmm. Yeah, they I don't know if they're like, listen, we're not pitching. Well, Andrew Bailey stayed, so Bailey must be one of Breslow's
W-
guys. Did he come over
Wait,
with
what?
Breslow?
I didn't even put that together.
Yeah, Andrew Bailey's still there.
Yikes.
So this is a we. So this is what this is a. I'm thinking all these things now as we're talking about it. You switched to run prevention. That's your philosophy. Your offense didn't improve. It actually got worse because you didn't keep Bregman. And you fire the hitting coach, the assistant hitting coach, the third base coach, bench coach, and the manager. The pitching, nothing in the pitching is touched, which makes me think Craig Breslow is like, I am right. You guys are messing this up because I am right. But every stat will tell you that they are in the bottom third in pitching this season.
The starting pitching, I haven't even gotten into the bullpen yet, is awful. Like I said, there's only been 3 times when a starter has gotten into the 6th inning, and they're now 2-1 in those games.
Yeah, I just there's I wonder, I'm really interested in the rest of this year, and I hope reporters start looking into the front office. And with these guys fired, I wonder if they'll have some sources to be all of a sudden you're reading the Globe or the Athletic or something you see on Twitter, an unnamed source is saying this is what it's like in the Red Sox front office. I can't imagine these guys that are now just let go, but April's not even over. And I can't imagine they're going to be like, no, we'll be quiet. We'll be loyal. Craig's a good guy. No way that's going to happen.
Uh, so I didn't put this together, but Breslow and Bailey were teammates on the Red Sox in 2012 and 2013. So they are most likely boys. I'm sure they have a relationship. Um, but that was, yeah, I guess I didn't even put that together that he's still there. And yeah, that's a lot of bullpen conversations between Breslow and Bailey, I guess, about how they'd run a team. And those have probably
And when was
continued.
Bailey was hired the first year Breslow came, right?
Yeah, he did. Yep.
So that's it.
2 years.
This
Both
is
of them
why
have
I'm
2 years.
this is why I'm thinking Breslow is saying,
Or was it 3? Was Andrew Bailey the year Hauk and Cutter Crawford started off nails? Was that his first year? I think it was.
uh,
I think this is his third season,
yeah,
or it's
okay.
Breslow's second.
Well, I just think it first of all, it makes sense. I want to say that. It makes sense that Breslow gets to pick a manager, although he didn't get to like hire one in the uh off season, which usually happens. But it just I don't know. It's such a strange time. It's I'm still like in shock about it, but they're very bad right now. So okay, Breslow was hired in 2023 at the end of the year, and Bailey was hired at the beginning of the year. So I think Bailey came right before him. Oh no. Nope. In November of 23, Bailey was hired. So Breslow brought him. So that's his
He
guy.
did.
He's not getting rid of him. They're in the bottom third of pitching, but see, everyone's bad right now. That's the thing. We can't say like, yes, it's definitively hitting. Their pitching's terrible. Their hitting's terrible. So it makes sense. It just seems super early and weird on a Saturday after a 17 run game. That
Oh,
shouldn't
this is
save the coaching staff
okay.
because 17 hitting 2 home runs off position pit players is fluky, but it's just odd. The whole thing's odd.
Yeah, and they fired him. The weirdest part is they're playing a game tomorrow afternoon on a getaway day. Like,
Right. Do they play
and
Monday?
they traded Devers when he was on the plane. Like, what? How do all those guys get back to Boston? That's
Right.
just
So like this is it's so that's it's like hold on. They do play Monday. So maybe they're like we don't want to deal with customs. I don't know. Like
so they also have like uh,
oh, you- this is a audio medium jack. You gotta
yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm thinking that they also if it's wasn't it Portland got fired too, or is that just did he move up to AAA because Chad Tracy's moving up to MLB?
probably.
Because like they dropped the ball on Campbell, I would say, in development there. He doesn't
Hmm.
even look like he's close to being back to the big leagues. I mean, granted, he just might not have it. Um, that like I said, they have so many young guys, and they're just going back to like, well, here's the guy who managed you for most of the year last year. So I don't. It's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Also, that Campbell thing, Bayo, it's why did Campbell need that after a month? Why couldn't you give Campbell that contract in June? Or not give it to him because come June you're like, uh-oh, pitchers figured him out. He had a hot start because they were just pitching him fastballs. Because that's what happens with rookies a lot. I just some of the contracts are weird, and I, you know, standing around having some intrusive thoughts. They gave Roman Anthony a big contract pretty damn early too, and year two has not been great for Roman. I'm hoping he's actually hurt. I don't know. Did he
Um,
play today? Because he's been out a couple. Yeah, no, he didn't play. So his back is messed up, which actually makes me feel better about how he's been. And we've discussed the throws via text. They're odd, very odd. Those two throws that are like the worst things you've ever seen from a major leaguer. He's going to be fine. He's going to be great. It's just giving these contracts out after a month seems so crazy. Now,
yeah, he had 80 games.
Anthony, oh, Jesus, when did they give it to Anthony? It was like a month maybe.
A month before the season started.
Oh, it was this season. So
Yeah.
okay, he had his 92 games last year or whatever it was. I I don't know. I just feel like very easily in November we could be like, all right, so now the Red Sox have fired Craig Breslow and fired Andrew Bailey, and they're starting completely fresh again. It's Groundhog Day again. And whoever they saddle with this position, just know we are not paying stars.
Oh no, he did sign it. You were right. He signed it last year, August 2025, 8 year, 130. Okay,
A
so
month
yeah.
in. They're
Jeez
team
Louise.
friendly deals, but Bayo's and uh, Christian Campbell's right now aren't because they're zeros. I yesterday was it. I I I took Brian Bayo off my list of my guys.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sorry.
he lasted a long time.
He did. I held on hope. Last year was where I was like, okay, this is Brian Bayo. There's no leap. There's no next step. I started to feel that way. And then the playoffs and then the start of the season, I'm like, okay, now it's an issue where he might not be good.
Yeah, again, they kind of mess with his pitch selection. They don't let him throw the pitches he wants to throw. They have a certain philosophy about pitching, and we talked about this a lot. It's they don't like people using their fastballs and certain pitches that, I think if you got it in your bag, man, slap it out on the table.
Yeah. Um, it- yeah. Well, I can't wait. I'm excited for our next conversation about the Red Sox because it'll be a weird week. And I
Well, the
guess
season's been weird and bad, and we haven't made enough time to talk about it, but I mean, underperforming is a word you could use, but really just a downright disappointment of a 2026 baseball season so far. And I've been weighing, and I think you and I are on the same page where it's like really around Memorial Day is where you can start kind of sweating standings and stuff. But now you're at the bottom. The Yankees have been underperforming too, and so have the Blue Jays, who, if you look at the roster, are both better. Like, it's a matter
mhm.
of time. Garrett Cole's coming back to the Yankees rotation in the summer. So you're looking up now with no leadership. There's nobody there except your AAA manager, who I don't remember the last time Chad Tracy was he with the Diamondbacks when he last managed in the big leagues? I think, but
Jack, I honestly don't know.
I think he was,
Uh,
but
yeah, back to your underperforming thing. Um, Garrett Crochet had a very normal Garrett Crochet great game today. and was he lowered his ERA to 6.3.
Yeah, that's outlier type stuff. Like I'm not worried about Garrett Crochet because he had two bad starts in 30-degree weather in April.
Right, but it's the definition of underperforming.
Oh yeah. Well, that I would say the definition of underperforming is anybody not named Wilson Contreras because
Yeah.
he's or Masataka Yoshida. Masataka Yoshida is a professional hitter. He is gonna give you 15 to 20 home runs, maybe. But he's gonna give you a good at bat every single time he's up.
All right, so Tracy hasn't been a major league manager. The highest he's
Ever?
been is no.
Oh wow.
Um
Okay.
yeah, and then Ranger Suarez, he's been up, he's had two good starts, like three bad starts, so they've just been so inconsistent. They can't hit. Really starting to wonder, why did the Brewers so readily give up a guy that finished third in Rookie of the Year voting last year? Um, Caleb Durbin has been pretty terrible.
hmm
His home run today came off a position player, so still looking for that first homer off a real pitcher this year. Um, I don't know. There's just a lot going on. It's late. I threw about 400 BP pitches today. Um, and this came as a shock. I was settling down. My my body was exhausted. We had a wonderful afternoon. Ate some
Sure.
smoked ribs. Um, really bland chicken wings and a pretty dry cornbread.
But you're out of your goddamn mind.
No, the cornbread was good. But I settled down
He's
to
not
have a
gonna
nice
listen.
night of I wanted to play a little MLB The Show and go to bed super early because I'm tired.
Yeah.
And then I texted you and I was like, why isn't he responding? Did he go out to dinner? Is he going to be okay when he finds this out after dinner? Then I was like, he's probably doing bedtime. And then I was like, is this emergency pod territory? And you were like, I think so.
Yeah. We were wrapping up
Also,
Phineas and Ferb, Candace first, the universe.
oh, that's like my third favorite one, but yeah. Uh, the thing is like we're not fun guys. So we're here. We're available for a random 8:30 start
On a
uh
Saturday night.
on a Saturday night. Yeah, I should mention that. But I would be remiss if we didn't talk about the Boston Celtics for at least 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, we're here.
I got you here, you know? We can shift the mood a little bit. You know what I was thinking last night? Doesn't this series remind you a little bit of Orlando in the first round last year where you're like, can you guys just put them away? And then they're just like hanging around, and you're like, why is VJ Edgecombe scoring 30? And you're like, Paulo didn't play that well on offense all last season in the regular season, and he turned into like Superman against the Celts.
hmm
I'm just getting the same thing, and then I'm like, and again, the Knicks are looming in the next round.
Sure. Um, I would say that Edgecombe it could just be one of those guys, Tom. I think Paolo is one of those guys. The Magic just had a weird see ya year last year or this year, but um yeah, I don't know. I think it's just playoff performing and VJ Edgecombe is really good.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, I watch and I'm like, what are we doing here? The centers, uh, Paul George is actually my age, I think, unless he might be like 2 years younger than me, but I just feel like the Celtics have been doing this in game twos. They're like 5-5 in their last 10. So maybe it's just a Celtics thing. They win big and they're like, okay, we're good. And then they let down in the second game of a when they're at home. But I still am confident because sometimes you see when they need stuff, Jalen. Brown can just bully people and Tatum can be the best player on the court at any time. Uh,
Yeah.
and then
I mean, and last night was tough too. I don't think the game is that close, but this is who the Celtics are, right? Like you get one guy who's not hitting his shots, Derek White. Um, it turns into an entirely different game, but then you get Peyton Pritchard pulling up from the logo a couple of times and then hitting the big three. And then Derek White made, probably the play of the game in that offensive rebound that Tatum inevitably hit the bury him three. But
mm,
it's I think the home loss is always tough, and then they start getting outplayed like halfway through the third quarter in the next game. For a second you go, "Whoa, that's right, this is the playoffs." But I don't. I just think there's too much there. I think there's too much there for the Knicks too. But we'll wait until they beat the Sixers to talk about that.
yeah, I agree. I think they're better. My question for you is, does any Celtics opponent scare you as much as Maxey? There's something about him where he shot a ball in the fourth quarter from three last night, and I said out loud to myself, the game had already ended. I was late because I was down Massachusetts way. And I'm sitting by myself where this outcome has already been, it's already come and gone. And I'm like, that's going in. And he missed it, and I was flabbergasted. I was like, I can't believe in that moment he does he runs 150 miles an hour and stops on a dime and hits a three.
Yeah, no, I think Maxey's good. I mean, as the playoffs go, you'll have to keep asking me that question because there'll be a different Maxey on each player. Like
Oh yeah.
if they get by the Sixers, it'll be Brunson. Like if they get by them, it'll
Brunson.
be oh God.
Cade.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
or if the Cavs
The
win,
Cavs win, yeah.
Mitchell. Um so you know what? My irrational brain can't handle. My irrational sports brain can't handle. Um I don't know why, but Kyle Lowry still he does nothing. He doesn't play, but he's like going like this on all the timeouts, calling people over and making it. He drives me nuts.
I saw him
Uh,
chatting up Tyrese Maxey yesterday, and I've never seen a more disinterested person than what Tyrese Maxey looked like.
yeah, he's just too much. All right, well, I guess we should go. It's late. This was an emergency pod, but yeah, it'll be interesting what happens with the Red Sox and go Celts.
Bye, Tommy.